Time appropriate greetings, YouTube. I am testing out a new setup tonight. Still using my phone, using my same microphone that's in here, the Blue Snowball. But I am using a lens adapter that I got for Christmas. It's one of those like Walmart checkout. I have no idea the brand because I threw away the packaging months ago. But I want to try it out tonight, just kind of see what kind of angles I got with it and how much more you could actually see, which is a lot. I've gotten done editing this video again to send it out to my client. And this one is going to be this is everything you want. Are the lyrics right? Okay, now I'll add the transitional pieces for the lyrics in and be done. We got the things, the opening credit, and we're about done with it. I like it. Hope he does too. Was back at the office today for the first time, and it was kind of weird. Everyone, was happy to see me. I sat at my desk and just caught up on some stuff I had there at my desk that I hadn't been able to touch in months because I haven't had access to it. And then from there, I drove home. Went to my mom for a few minutes. She wasn't feeling well this morning. Just had to go check on her. Evidently, she's got bronchitis again. But the doctor thinks it's the same strain that she's had for a couple months now. Just not ever fully going away and coming back. So hopefully she'll be feeling better here in a couple of days. And just kind of got to spend time with my wife tonight when she got back from in a function she had, dealing with this, and read a little bit of my book about Steve Jobs, which by the way, this is my code and quill with a really cool sticker from Clutch Graphics. I found him online. I love this one, and I have to order a couple more before he runs out. The code and quill journal, though, as I've shown y'all before, and my messiness inside. But it was really cool. I've not been as keeping up with my book as I should have. I'm not reading every day like I want, but I am reading another book, the Bible. But this one, today's functionality pieces was about team building. And it was cool because I was reading it and they're like, hey, they celebrated everything. They celebrated the small wins, the big wins, all the little wins along the way. He said this, Jay Elliott, who's the writer on this book, was talking about this. He was a VP there. I mentioned it in one of my previous videos. But they celebrated everything, and this kind of reminds me of a vlog a couple weeks ago from John Sadig, where he talked about celebrating everything. I think I piggybacked on it then. But it was cool to see it again, and what was also cool is that they focused on small, product-driven teams. He didn't think of everything. He thought of it as, small teams, pirates. Whereas Jay Elliott came from the corporate world, and IBM, a huge supertanker is the quote always attributed to IBM here. Supertanker doesn't turn quickly. Large businesses don't turn quickly, and that's why he said that Steve was always about those teams, those smaller, more agile teams. It's not said that way, but that's what I'm picking it up. It's those small, quickly moving, able to pivot quickly. A huge supertanker takes 16 miles to stop and 21 miles to turn. And that made me think of the things I'm trying to build. Do I want to build these big things? Not really. I want these small, lean, developed things. Further in the chapter, when he was talking about being pirates, they didn't want to be vanilla. They wanted to be, different. The Think Different campaign kind of comes to mind when you think about that. Any kids who are watching this, go look up Think Different campaign from Apple. It was early 2000s, and that's when the first bubble iMacs came out. And I remember using those in high school, doing my first graphics design class, where I would just dick around and try different things and look at the different filters and go swirly, swirly, swirly one way and swirly another, and made some really interesting art, but I probably could have learned a lot more had I actually not been so spastic, but actually learned how to cultivate my attention span and to cultivate my attention, period, on what I wanted to do, just to learn to slow down on these things. It's taken me many years to learn to slow down and many years to get to where I can take my time and not rush things. Even then, I rush things at times, and just, unless I write things down, fully plan it out, and can take that time. And he also gave a sense of ownership to the teams. These are the things I notice when I'm looking at the management styles I like. I like when I feel like I'm a part of the team, like I own something there. Like I can make a difference. When you have managers like that, you want to work more. You want to go towards these things. And I think if you have ownership of a company, you feel more inclined to stay the extra time and more inclined to do those extra projects. There's times with the company I'm working for that I don't want to do those things, and there's times that I do, and I feel it's a lot about my focus on that day and my focus with what I'm trying to do with the company. When I'm working on software, when I'm working on technical documentation, I feel a lot more useful in my job than when I'm sitting at a desk waiting for something to go wrong. And I don't like having to do both at the same time. Like, I understand that writing technical documentation would be part of a job, and so is my programming. But to be on a site running maintenance for a day because a customer requests it, you're putting in double your workload, in my opinion. You know, yes, you can be productive and do those things, but it's a double workload situation, and maybe that's just a fallacy in my own thinking, and if so, please correct me. But if I'm doing double the work, programming, writing technical documentation, that's not for that site, but for training material for the full company, it's company time. Those are company facets, but the customer's not paid for those. So okay, let me break it down this way. Our customers pay our maintenance fee, and in that they say, I want X amount of people on site for X amount of hours for preventative maintenance, and whatever reason. So a customer can come to us and say, we want 2.5 man days per week on site, 50 weeks a year. And we say, okay, it's going to be X number. So to me, our customer has paid for that time. And when I or any other employee is doing something that's not related to that site, and I mean not related to that site as in writing technical documentation for the full company or programming something for the company that the customer does not directly benefit from, I think those times are wrong to the employee, because you're saying, here, do all this work for the company that the company will benefit for, but anytime our customer comes up, that's a priority. So it's like, here, you're doing this work while you're on customer time and on customer premise, which is company focused material, and I don't ever think that's right. Just me. And you know, the other thing he said that this book said is that Steve learned that outside software to ship was better than always bringing it in-house initially, and to later on bring it in-house. But yeah, it was an interesting read. I've just had, an interesting day. I've gone back to work and just hanging out with Kyle on site today, and coming home, editing a video, which still has 15 minutes left to render out before I can send it to my client. But it's been a good day, and we'll see how the audio and video turned out for this. I also got some really great news today. It's not great news yet. I don't know if it's news yet. we may be moving in the next year. We've been planning it anyway, but we may actually get the go ahead in the next couple months versus having to wait till the end of the year. So my office may not get set up here. And if we set it up at the new place, I've got to figure out where to set it up because it's a lot smaller place there. But it's where we want to be. It's out in the country. We have land. We'll be eventually buying land, hopefully. Which that was the plan anyways, to buy this piece of property, but we may be able to live out there sooner, which I would enjoy. So, besides that, I gotta finish doing some other things. And we will give you some other updates. So, this is all from me, the Jolly Hobbler. Peace. Like, share, subscribe the video, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.